Hello everybody, Kimosabi here, giving you a update from what we were looking at yesterday. So price came down to the 100,800 area, as I was looking for. Came down a little faster than I would have expected, but nonetheless looks fine. Now out of here I want to see an uptrend start. So I'm going to draw out what I'm seeing here and how I'm planning on entering the market if it does indeed play out. So I would match this with this, and now we have that leg coming down for there. So those appear to be matching right now. Came to a matching Fibonacci level. But I did notice just right here, this went up. So that could be what we're working on now, and we might have one more flush down and then a pop up to close a higher high. Once you get that higher high close, you could probably enter on the daily open at 100,623 would be a likely area sometime, probably in the next 12 hours or so. Another way to enter would be for this 1 hour to get all the way up there. Then you buy the higher low. What may be happening, and I have no idea, but I'm trying to trade the pattern, may or may not repeat. If this is a completed move, somewhere around here, we might pop down to grab that $100,000 liquidity. But what may be happening out of there is this leg is going to repeat something like this. Back up to the highs, then this pull down right here, pull back down to previous support, and then tackle potentially all-time highs, repeating this leg before coming back down. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Another way to look at this would be for this to be an accumulation range. You just draw a box around it. This is a very low time frame potential for a reaccumulation. I haven't checked the volume to make sure it looks appropriate, but you would have your selling climax there, secondary test, some tests. This would be your spring phase. As soon as you get back up in the box, you may clear above it, and then holding above that consolidation and pushing up would lead to a markup phase on this time frame, which is a very low time frame. But that is how you enter on the lower time frames to take advantage of the higher time frames that may play out. So we did have some kind of ABC there. If out of here we get an ABC, that would be a very decent trade back up to either all-time highs or close to it, if this move is indeed complete. Let's zoom into price action right here. Maybe draw it a little more appropriately. Let's turn on the vol. Yeah, not getting much of a volume spike over here. You're just kind of grinding out traders. So this may pop up and flush back down again. You never know what they're going to do on weekends, but trade the trend though. If you do have closing price up here, especially a 4-hour closing above 103 area, that would suggest that's a higher high. Try to buy the higher low back at previous support would be the method to do that. Let's draw a little box here, if I may. So there's a potential for an accumulation range. Price broke below, did not close back inside, continued the downtrend, and now we're here. That actually, if you zoom in on this volume, that actually looks like a lot of volume, but compared to the selling climax that kind of came here, not great. So from here, I need to see it get back up into this consolidation, and then you target the highs, close above the highs, buy the higher low that would come thereafter. Getting real down into the weeds here on a 5-minute, barely closing a higher high there. It's not a time frame that I would base my trade off of, but to each their own. But what we have here is some kind of three-wave there, three-wave there. So it's possible that this comes back up here, rejects again, and gets another three-wave down. And then you would have some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go grab that $100,000 liquidity that may or may not be there. Or the market's going to pop up and come grab it later, maybe. That's kind of what I'm suspecting, that even if we do come down and grab this liquidity and pop up, we're eventually, after making all-time highs, coming all the way back down here and grabbing those again, just to chop people up. So promising. This is looking kind of promising. This could also just be 1, 2, 3. That's 4, and that's 5. Some kind of ending diagonal. I kind of prefer that it grabs $100,000 first, but I'm not going to judge. But yeah, watch the 1 hour. 1 hour makes a higher high, or you start closing a 1 hour back above 101,500 or something like that. Then you're technically making a higher high, buy the higher low, and then look for this to push up. This could be an area to add if this is indeed a show of strength, and this is your spring, and that would be a small time frame Wyckoff reaccumulation, and then you'll go into a low time frame markup. Back testing the range could be an add with your stop loss below the range. If price closes back in the range and holds inside there, you're probably going to fall off a cliff and really grab some much lower liquidity. So kind of basing it off of what's going on here with this weekend, either accumulation or redistribution going on here. Definitely open to the idea of this continuing to mark down. So definitely waiting for an uptrend to start out of these areas before entering in. Not macro bearish yet, but this has the potential over the weekend to continue pushing down to open up Monday on a very, very large move down. So I definitely don't want to get caught in that. So wait for an uptrend to start, know your invalidation. As soon as this does close back inside the consolidation here, that becomes my stop loss. And then I would expect it to break above. If I get stopped out there, and then price comes back into the consolidation again, that would be my entry, and then I'd put my stop loss down there again and give it another try. Wouldn't give it more than 2 tries on that, because if you keep coming down and smacking out the stops, then it's not looking great. I'd wait for a daily uptrend or a 4-hour uptrend to start. This is just very low time frames, potential entry that you could get in on. As we're recording here, this is looking promising. There you go. So maybe we make it back up to this resistance, chop around a little bit, watch the 1 hour closure, 1 hour close back inside that consolidation, and then stay above the daily open, and looks good. Know your invalidations, keep your stops tight, and have a good night. Hope this helps.